opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Shaw Cable Systems or of the station. Through our access policy, we provide the opportunity for community groups and individuals to express their points of view.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Jodi Faith Show. It is again my privilege to invite you to sit down and get to meet a friend of mine and someone who is just an inspirational character. Life in southern Saskatchewan has really been a blessing to my friend Penny Burr Johnson. And we're going to talk a little bit about your life today. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. Thank you for being here. You're actually a grandma and you babysit your grandson a little bit. So we had to work this schedule around his schedule today a little bit, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah. And how many kids do you have?
We have 6 children.
Okay. And how many grandkids?
Just one, but another one on the way.
Okay, so it's kind of a neat blessing that you get to have a baby around, that you get to be part of his life.
He's total joy.
There you go. Well, Penny, you've been on a remarkable journey over the last number of years, and I think today I'd like to start with just sharing a little bit of the challenges that you have as a legally blind musician and artist, a mom, a grandma, you know, the kinds of things that you've been dealing with, and maybe take us and our viewers through that journey a little bit. How have you dealt with losing your sight over the last number of years, and what does that look like? How best to tell your story?
Well, it's definitely a journey, and changes direction of your life. As you grow up, you make plans, you have dreams, and you think it's going to go a certain way. But definitely, when my vision started to change, my day vision, then things had to take a different turn because I'd become a nurse. And would you really like to have a blind nurse giving you your medicine?
Okay, so not necessarily a career choice that's going to be able to follow you down this new path.
No, but fortunately I had the gift of music, and my parents gave me piano when I was 8 and lessons, and I was the only little piano player in church, so I would say that was my biggest training ground, just accompanying everything, and from hymns to cantatas and trios and quartets, and that was great training, and they were very patient, loving people.
Nice. And so the transition from a nursing career in the medical profession, all of a sudden you had to lay that down a little bit, and music became your new career. Is that a fair assessment?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I started out in the Music for Young Children program, got certified with them, and built classes, and eventually just had a fantastic school going. We had 160 students coming through every week. Wow. And I was going out to a couple of daycares and a private school. I had 2 junior teachers working with me, and several little partners that were practice partners for parents that were too busy. Nice. And it was a real just great thing that we had such a positive, happy impact on the town that everybody wanted to get in on it and have fun doing music. It was really more than music, it was a family affair.
Nice. And I know that one of the challenges in our life today is to find people who feel that they are mentors in young people's lives or in other people's lives. And certainly it's like you ended up on this path where you were really mentoring children and their families in something that was a really nurturing kind of place, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and they taught me to.
Yes.
When my vision really started to dive, I went through a really dark time and gave up my driver's license before it was taken away, and I was going to give up all my students. But out of the 25 that I had at that point, only one of them moved on. And I just felt so embraced, and it was like a sign from God saying, no, you are not quitting this. And it was really wonderful. And really, my students gave me the confidence to start sharing my compositions that I was teaching them how to do, to be proud of what they made. And that was a really important crossroads for me to get through.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so because you were also sort of starting at the ground level with children, you were able to be building your confidence in that musical genre, that maybe the doors were going to begin to open to you in years to come. You had no idea when you began, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So what would you say to parents and grandparents who see some musical talent or gifts in their kids and grandkids? What would you say to them about encouraging that gift?
I would say, do not leave it up to the child. Do not. You see the talent and the skill, the ease that they can do things. They will not want to practice. You just need to be matter of fact and just say, we are going to do this music. Because my son Brett, who was probably the most talented as far as almost like a photographic memory. He would look at music, put it away, and he'd just play it precisely, was the one who tried the hardest to talk me into letting him not be. He was my worst advertisement. Every spring he would tell everyone, I'm quitting. He now is a piano teacher, drumming teacher, violin, and a great inspiration to the kids. And I overheard him one day talking to some parents who didn't know what to do. Their child is so gifted, but just didn't want to practice. They were going to let her quit. And she said, oh no, never cave, never cave. My mom didn't.
My mom didn't let me quit, and look at me today.
And he's the one that's the music teacher today.
Isn't
out of all
cool?
6.
That's a really good word of advice, because I hated piano lessons, and I now have a music ministry that's kind of taken me all over the world, but I can't really accompany myself at all because my mom and dad caved. They let me quit because I just hated it, So good word.
Yeah, and just keep it positive. It shouldn't be a battleground. Keep it positive.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So you started out with this gift of piano. You started out with a piano that came into your life. Now, do you want to tell that story? Because I think that's an interesting story about how you got a piano in your life when you were 8 years old.
Well, I guess it was a cousin of my mother's who just needed some extra cash, and she wasn't playing her piano very much, and asked my parents, I need $200. Would you just, give me $200 for this piano? And they went, okay, we could see, and brought it home, and I would thrash and crash around on it, and my parents would just shut the door and tell me, just be quieter, and finally realized they needed a teacher. And I had a little bit of a tough way to go with teachers, because the first teacher taught me how to play by number, not by note. And I thought that when the notes were close together, they were fast, and when they were spread apart, you play slow. And it was not really how it works.
But look at you today.
Yes, and I have to thank my second teacher, who is extremely strict, and she did not approve of extra notes, but she undid that wrong teaching and got me doing the notes and proper rhythm and all that. So
you went from playing piano, composing your own musical scores, teaching piano, trying to lay down teaching and kids, to being in a place today. How many instruments do you play?
Well, piano number 1, and then I've picked up the guitar and the fiddle, and this summer picked up a banjo, which is super fun. Yeah.
There you go. So this musical kind of joy factor has come into your life, and you're just playing all sorts of stuff, and excited to learn new instruments and things.
Yeah. Because my vision doesn't let me do other stuff. This I can do. I have ears. I can hear, and just seems to be working, and I love to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So a really amazing part of your journey has been international awards with an organization out of Branson, Missouri. You hooked up with the Country Gospel Music Association from Branson a number of years ago, and tell the folks what that's been like for you.
Oh, it's been absolutely wonderful. That I've really felt like I was lost alone in the woods as far as my artist development went. And the CGMA, even though I never felt that my music was country themed, that they were so accepting and so encouraging, and I mean, I was in disbelief when they gave me the first award. That, what greater thing, could they have done? They couldn't have done anything better than, it was words and this little heart that I can look at.
Yes, that sits on the shelf and reminds you of the fact that the gift that's in you has been validated, right? And through the CGMA, you've met friends, and I know like some of your music has been written by other people that you've met within the CGMA family. And another great nomination in your life came from the CNIB. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the CNIB I Factor?
Yes, that was really cool. The CNIB from Regina contacted me and said, there's this contest going on. They're looking for talent across Canada, and you have to be legally blind and you qualify. And just submit a video, and I did that, and it was a couple of months later before the decision was made. And when I got the phone call that I was in the top 10, I almost said, of what? Very exciting, but what are we doing again? And it was really a fundraiser, a mega gala fundraiser for the CNIB, and it was taking place in the Muskoka at a beautiful lake, St. Joe's Lake, a couple hours from Toronto, and they gave the top 10 free trip there and back accommodations along with a companion that you could bring.
Nice. And I mean, how does that make you feel to be actually called and qualified as a spokesperson for the legally blind world? I mean, what an amazing testimony to the fact that, yeah, life has been tough and you've been dealt a bit of a tough hand, but look at you now.
No, it's amazing. It's really been an awesome eye-opener. Because, no, some people will sit and stop and do nothing and wait. I was actually listening to a story of a lady yesterday that she just wanted to sit and just wait till she went blind. She was quitting. And I thought, if only I could trade my vision with yours. Like you're just beginning.
Yeah.
But it's a harsh loss. And you go through the stages of grief, and I suppose, yes, I was in that place for a while, bitter and angry for quite a few years. And it's really tough at the beginning. But then you start to realize, stop thinking what you can't do, but what can you do?
All right. Well, we're going to come back and we're going to visit and we're going to hear more from Penny about that journey right when we get back.